Good evening, and welcome to the first of maybe a few.
The first, anyway.
Well, the first of something.
Yeah.
So, my name's Mike.
My name's Neil.
We go by FamousGhosts, and here we're going to talk about Jurassic Park 3D, which we just got out of the theater for. I don't know about you, but I was a huge fan of Jurassic Park growing up.
Well, okay. So
Lots of action figures.
my experience with Jurassic Park growing up, I remember when it was in the theater, I was about 6 or 7 years old. Too young to actually see the movie.
I don't think I would have been able to place the age, because I can't remember when, but...
I'm pretty sure it was around
same age. So
it was like 93, right?
Sure.
I think it was 93.
Research.
Yeah.
I actually was thinking we should look up some things so we could reference things like when it first came out, this, but I forgot that.
Yeah, I
So
remember...
we tried to have structure.
I remember the toys. I love the toys.
I had a lot of toys.
See, it's funny because I was of the perfect age when Jurassic Park 2 came out. Because
Right.
I could go to the theaters and see that, and I wasn't too scared to see it. Because I was afraid of movies.
I just want to tell a quick aside here, maybe a little setup, that when I was younger, I got a Tyrannosaurus Rex for Christmas. I don't know if I've told this story, but I, picked up the present under the tree, shook it a little bit, like, what is this? It's really big. Like, the box is, a rectangle. It's, like, pretty wide. Like, there's going to be something cool in this. It has my name on it. So I was shaking it. All of a sudden, I hear... for like that goes on for about 5 minutes before my mom's like, just open that present to make it stop. So I opened it, and it was like a really awesome like rubber Tyrannosaurus Rex, super friggin' cool.
I think I remember that specific.
Yeah, and it made that
like the rubber.
sound. And so
did this one have... Now, there was a rubber T-Rex that my friend had, and it was Jurassic Park, and it had the little, like, JP logo on it. And I remember it having this piece of flesh that you could take off, and there were, like, ribs.
It did.
Yeah.
Same
Okay.
one. Same exact one. Yep.
I know exactly what
And
you're talking about.
so we had to unscrew the bottom and, like, unplug the mechanism that made it roar. So I never had a Tyrannosaurus that could roar, because on Christmas Day we had to break that part because it broke, and it just kept going. And that was pretty funny.
That was pretty good.
Very pertinent to Jurassic Park 3D, but...
Right. This is a movie that we've seen several times. So we actually showed up to the theater.
I haven't watched it in full
In
a while, because there was things I definitely didn't remember.
Okay. There's a few scenes I didn't remember, but I'm pretty sure I've seen it within the last 2 years or so.
Here, let me time this, but continue what you were going on.
Okay. We got to the theater. There were no people in the theater, so we were just by ourselves with our 3D glasses on. This was in 3D, which is why they're re-releasing it.
Well, I figured, haven't seen that full movie in so long, maybe do it in the most ridiculous way. Because I can see it in 2D anyways, and 3D's funny.
Right.
Jurassic Park's kind of funny.
Yeah. I didn't notice the 3D too much. I mean, there was mid-ground and background most of the time, so the characters were sticking out.
Yeah.
And then there was the background. And once in a while, you'd have, like, part of the canopy or, like, a leaf sticking, like, right
Yeah,
in
there was
front of
a
you.
part where the car is in the tree about to fall on them, and they stupidly stay in line with it. So, like, just to give it some action. But where the headlight was pointed at the camera, and, like, it had this glare in 3D, and it looked really stupid.
Yeah.
But it for the first 20 minutes, I could tell I was watching 3D, and it was, like, kind of annoying. But then after that, I got to this zen state with it where I just accepted it, whether it was great or not. But I did think the treatment for it being an older movie shot on film was done well. It wasn't glaringly, like, obvious that it was doctored up in 3D.
Yeah, I think the only other 3D movie I've seen that was where they retrofitted it to be 3D was The Nightmare Before Christmas, and I thought they did a terrible job at making it 3D.
We saw Brave in 3D, right?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
That wasn't in 3D. We saw Tintin in 3D.
Right.
I thought that was fun.
I think I've only seen two. I think that's the third 3D movie I've ever seen, because I think I saw another one. I can't remember what though.
I saw Wreck-It Ralph, and I thought that was completely
I've never seen
fine
that.
in 3D. I think you'd like it. It's pretty good. But there's some stuff that we noticed throughout the movie that sort of drew
Also, I did
attention to
not.
itself.
I never. I mean, as a child, I had no idea what it meant, so I probably would not have picked up on it. But I thought it was really strange that he called animatronics autoerotics.
Yeah. He's like, are these autoerotics?
The
And he's
douchebag
like,
lawyer guy.
yeah, that was... I was not expecting... I've seen the movie more recently than you have,
Yeah.
and that just completely passed by me.
No, I know you were setting it up, and I wasn't really paying attention while you were talking
I
at that
forgot
one
what I was
part.
talking about.
No, you were saying that we were alone in the theater. I don't know if you
Oh,
went
right.
elaborately into that. We show up, nobody at the theater at all.
Except for 6 employees.
6 employees. Hello, can I have a ticket to Jurassic Park? And just at least 4 people hovered over this girl's shoulder, all staring at me. I felt like I was doing something wrong. I don't know. I was suspiciously uncomfortable by that experience.
Almost as if you were a dinosaur walking in.
Yeah, like those were raptors behind the cage, or I don't know. I was just like, are you closed? What's going on? I'm not gonna buy popcorn, but so we get there and ends up we're the only 2. Nobody else shows up, so it was actually a good environment because
We pretty much
I don't
talked
think I would
through most of the
have
movie.
not wanted to be talking and laughing
Yeah.
for that movie in particular. Like if I had to be quiet the whole time, I don't know, different experience.
Yeah, it would have been very different. But we're well acquainted with the movie anyway, so it's
Sure.
not like we needed plot points or anything.
No. But here's a plot point.
So many plot points in this movie that I'd like to talk about.
I'm sure this has been discussed in some length, but okay, so it starts raining, the power goes out, the Tyrannosaurus breaks through the cables, she turns the light on. It's really stupid. I don't know why she'd do that, but apart from that, knocks it over the cliff.
Yeah, where'd the cliff come from? Because the cliff is where the goat was.
The cliff is right where the break in the lines are.
Yeah. Because you said that, you were like, where did that cliff come from? I said, the cliff is where the goat was, and you just laughed as if it was the dumbest thing I ever said in my life. And you're like, no.
So they fall down a cliff and then the scene cuts and it goes back to the girl, which I always call Scully for some reason, but the older girl,
The woman.
the woman, and she they run over, and now there's suddenly a big like metal barricade where the cliff was, but she just looks over it, like the scene cuts again, and then she's on the ground. It's just really hard to place what's going on.
It's almost like they, in the script, they were like, all right, we need a cliff, or like we need something to elevate this action scene.
Yeah.
So let's put a cliff there. And the writer was just like, where's the cliff come
Right.
from? It's like, just write a cliff in. You're
Yeah.
writing the movie. Just do it.
And then they literally take 10 steps. They take 10 steps, climb up 5 feet of a tree. No cuts in this. You can see them clearly, like walking from cliff to tree, stepping up the tree, probably 10 feet.
Yeah.
Like you could jump and slap the branch they were standing on, and all of a sudden they're at Brachiosaurus height.
Yeah.
Like another cliff, supposedly just
Yeah.
cliffs. I don't
Cliffs
know.
where cliffs are convenient.
It's sort of silly. But
I did like the helicopter scene where they're introducing Malcolm, and they're over the ocean. They introduce him as if like they all just got in the helicopter,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh wait, there's the island.
yes.
As if the ride was 30 seconds long.
Yeah, but aside from that, I mean, I think the animatronics, or however you would want to classify them, were still pretty incredible.
See, I place, I don't know if you'll agree with me on this, but I place Jurassic Park and Lord of the Rings in these 2 like specific camps, which is
Opposing camps.
sort of, yeah, I guess you could call them opposing camps, where Jurassic Park was like right when 3D or like CG stuff was starting to like take over. Because if you look at Jurassic Park 2,
Yeah.
a lot more like they didn't use puppetry for a lot of the raptors. It's a lot of CG, and you just notice because it's not as fun. But they sprinkled CG into it, and most of it was puppetry.
Was there any CG in this one?
Yeah, there's definitely
Like the dinosaurs from far away at the beginning are CG.
yeah, there's some CG, but not.
But I don't think any of the close-up stuff really is.
No, I think that's mostly
Puppets.
puppets.
Yeah.
Different size puppets, and also stop motion. And like a lot, I know a lot of T-Rex stuff is stop motion.
Yeah, and the raptor thing busting out of the egg, the little baby one that he's like petting.
That is a good scene.
Such a strange scene. So many strange little scenes.
And then Lord of the Rings is when CG was just able to tackle.
Right. Yeah, it was
like where you could have a character that lives within this environment, and actually is believable.
Yeah, or like the
Smeagol.
scene with the water in the horse scene in the elf girl, and there's like the waterfall turns into a bunch of horses.
Yeah.
And I think you could watch that today and it still looks pretty cool.
Right.
It doesn't offend. Like if you go and watch, I don't know, for puppets, if you watch Star Wars, you can see like the Rancor and it just looks like this silly mess.
Although you were showing me a video of some animatronic test footage, which was actual like puppets and animatronics. And when you're videotaping, not videotaping, because I don't even know if they use videotapes anymore, but when you're taking footage of animatronics now, it's such high
the film reel thing I was showing you?
It might have been. It was like
a showcase of all different ones.
Robotics and stuff like that. It's kind of looked CG just because it was such high definition footage.
Yeah, that was just one specific really popular animator. It was like real.
Yeah.
Like he had done all that. But yeah, it looked like some of it, some of the with HD cameras and with how good people have gotten over the years, like I know Prometheus, I didn't see it, but I heard people say the CG was incredible and a lot of it was puppets. It was just so good. Like,
well, Abrams loves using practical effects where he can, as much as he can.
So it kind of gives this like weird divide where maybe it's a mix of CG is so good now and animatronics are so good that sometimes they're undiscernible.
Yeah, like I know that I've had to tell people that Coraline was stop motion.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people that Coraline was stop motion.
Yeah, it's this weird like dividing line where you get too good at something. It's almost like Coraline should look a little crappier.
Yeah.
To be more, I don't know, because it's so good that like I think almost any normal person would watch it and be like, oh, that was really good CG. And then you're like, no, they should film that shot for shot in stop motion. And I don't know if they'd have this appreciation for it. Whereas if it looked a little crappier, you'd be like, oh, it's stop motion.
Yeah.
I know that they had to do that so laboriously.
Yeah, it's almost like
it's a weird little thing.
Turn the frame rate down just a little bit or something like that.
Like they shouldn't, but I know it. But I don't know. It's this weird divide.
Yeah, I loved a lot of the logic in this movie. Before I go into any more of the logic, though, I noticed something in this that I hadn't noticed before, which is Samuel L. Jackson gave pretty much an entire speech with a cigarette in his mouth.
Oh,
and I loved that cigarette in his mouth all the time.
Yeah.
Like, that was such a good character.
Yeah, it's a shame that they just, like, okay, this is pretty much a segue into what you wanted to talk about anyways, but we can say it's a shame how throwaway they use that character. Like, they get to this scene where, okay, they're with John and Muldoon, and these two clearly know the layout of the facility.
Right.
They basically are the head honchos. So
they know how dangerous it is with the power off.
Right. So they know the power is off. Power goes off. They got to reset some breaker thing that's, conveniently 6 football fields away. And the somewhat nerdy scientist, who we just said with the cigarette in his mouth, Samuel Jackson, he's like, okay, I'll go do it. And they're like, all right. And he just walks out, no gun, no anything. Now they know that they have to walk by the raptor thing, and they know the power's out, and they know that the raptors test the line, so they know the raptors will be out.
I think I turned to you and asked you, like, did he just go alone? You're like, no, Muldoon went with him. Why would he go by himself?
Yeah.
And the next shot is like Jeff Goldblum all sweaty with his like shirt open.
He says his chest out for no reason.
And then Muldoon and everyone's just sitting around. It's like, why didn't anyone?
Yeah, and then the girl's like, I have to go too for no reason. And Muldoon's like, I'll grab a gun. There's probably raptors. And they're like, why did no one give a shit about this scientist?
Yeah, there's like, it's like, no way can you do that. And then he goes
Yeah.
to like get some guns, and it's like, why didn't you give a gun to the scientist? Why didn't you cover him? Because he walked right past the raptor's cage. It's just, and Muldoon even said earlier, he's like, they're testing the cage for when they can get out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for, silly action, but some of the thing, like, and the funny part is I don't question any of this as a child, so, there's a target audience here.
Yeah.
But, sometime watching this as an intelligent adult, you could, they're climbing down the tree and the car is going to land on top of them, and the whole time, why don't you just go, like, one branch to the right?
Yeah. Just swivel around it.
And then the tree will fall, hit the ground, and then you can climb down in peace. Instead of climbing down right in its trajectory the entire time and hoping the kid will use his phantom power where things fall on him but they don't hit him because that's his like magic. If he was a superhero, that's what he'd be good at. He'd be good at, I'm gonna sit in a fetal position and have things fall on my head and not hit me.
Oh, and all the one-liners at the very end of an action scene just to diffuse them.
Either the end or the beginning, none in the middle.
Where the car falls on the kid and nobody dies and everything's fine and there's just enough room for him to survive, and he goes, at least we're in the car again.
Yeah, every scene, if there's at all like some sort of elevation in tension, like once it hits this eclipse, the action stops and they bring it down with a one-liner every time. There was one with the Tyrannosaurus chase. I don't remember what he said, but he said you won't get this on Disney World or something. Or like, he said, is this going to be part of the attraction?
Yeah.
Like right as he's about to get eaten by a Tyrannosaurus.
Yeah.
It's just like almost pretty much every single scene where there's at all tension, there's going to be a one-liner.
Yeah. I love the solid sense of wonder that this movie has that none of the other movies that came after it. The ones after it were just trying to be like, oh, raptor chases again.
Yeah.
For like the whole movie, and they had to validate themselves.
I don't know if I've ever watched the entire third movie. What happens in it?
Like some kid gets lost on the island because he's like parasailing, and he like floats down the island, and the kid like, it's stupid.
Okay, I think I have seen it. Maybe.
And then like they contract Grant to go get him, and it's just
the second one has the same little boy, right? It has like
the only character that comes back, like I think Grant's in it for a little while.
I think he's in the beginning.
And they're like, we want you to do this, and he's like, I'm not going back. So then they go to Malcolm, and Malcolm and his wife, or his ex-wife and his daughter, go on an expedition. I forget exactly why.
Yeah, and her daughter's basically like the Jada Pinkett Smith of her day, and she just ruins the whole movie.
Absolutely. I think Malcolm only goes because, like, oh, we already sent your wife.
Wait, Jada's the wife. I meant the kid.
Yeah.
I meant the kid.
Yeah, the kid.
Of Jada and Will Smith.
Yeah.
I don't remember their name. I whip my hair back and forth. Yeah,
Willow.
She's like, just like the Willow Smith of today.
Yeah, I think she would be played by Willow Smith.
She would, totally. But yeah, I don't know. Those movies. What is that? Now we've doubled the Dino Dong.
What did you search on this?
Just Jurassic Park. We're just looking at images to refresh.
There's a really
there's
silly
one image here in particular that
it says Jurassic Park 4 now with double Dino Dong. And it's poorly, it's like Microsoft Paint. It's like they put the original Jurassic Park poster in there and just colored some, graffitied it with Microsoft Paint.
Is that a joke? I don't really know, but I was gonna comment particularly on the end of the movie and that the Tyrannosaurus gets the last line, which is great, and it's like a hero at the end.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody says anything after that. I think they just smile at each other.
Yeah, where
I was waiting for a Malcolm line. I couldn't remember, but I feel like he would have said something.
Yeah, or maybe Grant, like when they're about to go, and it's like, well, didn't work out.
Oh yeah, they do.
Something
Yeah,
like that.
they do. Yeah.
But T-Rex has the last line that matters.
I just love how he they're in the compound, the raptor scene. I didn't remember it ending right after that kitchen raptor scene. It's like literally 4 more minutes in the movie after that. Like I didn't remember it being that.
Right, it's
concise
very abrupt. There's not much of a, you call it a denouement, which is like the scene, the stuff after the climax.
Right. In my head, though, I had the raptor busting through the wall. That's how I remembered it.
Yeah.
And then, I watched it now, and all I could think was like, where did that raptor come from? Because there's no holes in the wall. Did he come through the front door?
You mean the T-Rex?
Sorry, the T-Rex, and that kills the raptors at the end. But I did love, the all music in majors, and it was like so climactic, and I was like, here's the hero to save you, and it's the T-Rex.
And then he screams, and the banner falls down. That's the only time where I was like grateful for the 3D, is when this banner falls down.
Yeah, it waves suspiciously like in the front, and it just sort of...
It looks stupid, but it looks great.
It has this emblematic quality to it. I don't know, it feels like so appropriately, like equal parts hokey, equal parts poignant.
Yeah.
I don't know, it felt great.
It's just awesome.
But yeah, Jurassic Park 3D.
I'm trying to think if I have anything else to say about it.
Let's see, what are we at right now? Just opened a thing. Yeah, we'll continue.
Well, the girl, I remember you specifically said how much you hated that girl character.
Okay, well, like, hate's a strong word.
You severely disliked her.
I just...
You
do not
throughout
like
the
that
entire movie, you're like, come on, she's so stupid.
Well, she starts off her character. She doesn't really have a character for the first 10 minutes of her, at least. She's just kind of there, and the kid's the one who's like charismatic, and she's just like, maybe the counterpoint to him.
I will say, like, they should have either developed the character more in the script or hired an actress that could pull it off better.
Yeah, she always just took me out, and she felt like such a weak plot device to get in trouble a lot of the times, where it's like, she kind of sucks and she's screaming, now the dinosaur knows where you are. She turns the light on for what? Did she turn the light on? Nobody knows.
Yeah. I also like how the little boy is really good at stuff, but he's really bad at stuff when he needs to be bad at it.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, you can't climb trees at all.
Yeah,
and then he's like, no, just keep going, don't worry. And then the car starts falling, and then he's like a monkey out of nowhere.
Yeah. But, and then they're on the electric fence.
And all of a sudden he can't climb down at all.
And he's grasping the electrical fence while the red light beeps, and they're like, jump, at least climb down.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to jump, climb down.
I like how Grant's like, oh, I can't fit through here, so you guys can't either.
Yeah. If I'm going to fucking climb, you guys have to too.
I mean, I get why they do things like that in a movie like this, but like, it's just funny.
I get it too, but in some... You could make an argument for like, shore up the plot holes a little, maybe make it so the fence doesn't look like they could climb through.
Yeah. Yeah, just add another layer of
wire to that part or whatever.
Yeah.
If you put cliffs wherever you want, so just like for that little piece of fence, put some more wire. There's no qualms with cliffs everywhere.
A few things I didn't quite understand.
Jurassic Park terraforming, number one thing.
Where what is it? Oh, the tropical storm comes, and they evacuate the island pretty much, but why?
Well, it's not ever discussed that it's is it? Do they say they evacuate?
Well,
they must.
I assume they did, because they get rid of a lot of people, and a lot of
thousands of scientists, and they're just gone.
I don't think there's thousands. There's probably like
hundreds.
40.
Okay, 40
at least.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I just figured thousands. I mean, they're growing dinosaurs. There must be a lot that you don't see.
A catering staff.
Yeah.
And like
Ben, I need to interject. I never even, as a kid, I never remembered this scene, but like, power goes out. Let's just say the rest of the staff's evacuated. They stay behind because their loved ones are there. Let's say that's why.
Yeah.
Let's say I missed that part. Grant goes off. He has the kids with him. He's missing. What is the woman's name? I can't remember it. But she goes back, and John is just sitting at the long table with literally 7 buckets of ice cream in front of him because it's going to melt because the refrigeration's off, even though the compound still had somewhat power, so I'd imagine.
That's such a great, like, kind of real world
Why
thing
would he take 7 of them, put them all on the table in front of him, and sit in front of him as if he alone was going to finish all of it? It was like, that's just hilarious to me, that shot setup.
See, that made sense to me.
I'd see one.
No, but like, be like, well... Got to bring all the ice cream out. The best part is that he didn't even explain it to her. He just started eating. Like, he was halfway through eating.
No, he said, I believe he said spared no expense at that part, right? And it's just like the most amazing thing.
You gotta set up a drinking game, and number one is spare no expense.
Yeah.
Take a shot every time.
I mean, I get that that's sort of a joke at this point, like
Yeah.
the spared no expense thing, but I didn't realize
it was almost
how
a joke.
prevalent that is.
It was a joke before it was a joke in the movie.
I thought he said it twice.
He says it like 12 times.
Yeah, at least 7 times he says that.
I also love when she like leans over and gets some ice cream, but she's clearly 6 feet away from the ice cream.
And then the toilet paper we saw move in one shot.
There's also, I guess, like the hand towels change color or something.
Right.
If you pay attention to that, I didn't really feel like specifically looking.
Yeah, but yeah, no, that she leans over and she eats the ice cream. This is really good, and they go, spared no expense.
Yeah.
It also has a really thick like Irish accent when you first meet him, and then it kind of dissolves throughout the movie.
Yeah, I don't know if the actor's actually Irish or Scottish.
I couldn't tell if he
something.
was Irish or Scottish, and he was trying to sort of, sound a little more American or something.
I did not
Or
remember the accent
opposite
at all.
I couldn't tell
either.
Yeah. When he first spoke, he had a really thick accent, and I mean, relatively thick.
Like how in the second movie, Vince Vaughn's in it.
Is he? I can't remember those. Like, I've only seen those once. I've seen 2 and 3. I think I saw in the theaters when I was younger, and that's the only time I've seen them.
And it ends up in like the mainland. And
I can't even remember. All I remember is the scene in, I think, the second one where the dude walks off from the beach and all the little dinosaurs eat him.
Yeah.
Because I like that part.
I almost feel like I'd rather have a reboot of Jurassic Park than a sequel.
Yeah.
Because I'd be curious to see what they
it'd
do
be cool.
if they just redid the first one. I wouldn't even care at this point.
Or like a reimagining of John opening a park and like have a couple reoccurring characters, have a, Grant or whatever and John, but have like reimagine them and see, I don't know, just modernize it, try something new, maybe have a little bit of a different conceit, different plot points hit at different times. It could be interesting to do a reboot.
Yeah, except it would be called JP. Because it'd be like but made out of bones. Because they have to change the logos every time.
The theory though is that I think you get like, I mean, you get a trilogy and then you should be able to start over.
Well, I think what Spider-Man did is all right by me.
Yeah, you have 3, you complete that arc, and then you say, maybe, this is a whole new thing, whole new universe, new Spider-Man, whatever. The other one doesn't exist. Like, that would be kind of cool.
What they did with the Hulk was really weird. Because they
don't even know.
What they did was they had the Ang Lee version, and apparently nobody liked it or something like that. So they started fresh, and they had Edward Norton play him, but it was almost a sequel to the second one, but was not the sequel to the first one.
That's a very comic book thing anyways, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's sort of just a trope, or
and they had a different guy play him in the
Avengers. That's what comic books are. So
yeah.
It makes sense for comic book movies to do that. But I mean, they do that with classic films a lot, like even Evil Dead's out.
Yeah.
And that's just a reimagining of, and that's been done a countless number of times.
Right.
And there's other examples of non-horror films that do that too. So,
well, Spider-Man's a specific different one because the Hulk was a sequel, not just like the same origin story
Hulk
again.
Too.
The Spider-Man is the origin story again,
right?
Which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, it's a little weird to do it as a sequel, to be like, oh, new guy in the sequel. That would strike me as odd. Like Batman does it. They have like I don't know if the Christopher Nolan arc is over. I don't know if they're doing a 4, but I think kind of hope it is. I hope it's only 3.
I think
it feels right.
Time for somebody else to do Batman.
I mean, hey, Bungie's not even making Halo anymore, right?
News to me.
Although they still call it Halo 4, they should have reimagined that too. But
yeah,
so it doesn't really fit that.
Yeah. So two lingering thoughts. 1, I forgot, and 2.
That's a great background with those raptors. I'll have that flash on the screen if I remember.
The raptors are. Oh, I remember what it was. Okay. The raptors are dumb in the kitchen. That annoys me. Yeah. It's a great scene. It's such a good scene, but they're like slower to react.
Have to be.
They have to be.
Because they would literally kick that door in and annihilate those kids in like 1 second.
Yeah.
Like a lot of that movie would just be dinosaurs annihilating all those idiots. So
they're too slow.
You got to dumb the dinosaurs down to get to the level of dumb humans.
And 2, look up some special effects videos making of stuff for this movie because it was really cool.
Yeah, like look up
The making of the raptor suit.
The making of the raptor suit. It's probably, I'd rather watch that video than watch the movie because it's just incredible to.
It's so cool what they do.
See it come to life and I don't know. It doesn't look real. It looks such like puppetry. Like as a another note on what we touched upon earlier with puppetry and to CGI. Like we recently rewatched the old Star Wars movies and Yoda is like unparalleled, like such an amazing character.
He's such a different. He reads so differently too.
But it's like so amazing.
He's
like,
so good.
He's this little curious, sort of buggerish thing, but he's like actually really wise, and you know, he gives off this like childlike aura, even
he's like
his
a
wiseness.
little scamp.
Yeah.
Whereas in the new movies, he's like some depressed monk.
Where like in the new movies take place before, so
you think he'd even be more childish.
Like that Yoda at the swamp would not be backflipping and flipping around and throwing a lightsaber around. And I think Yoda is supposed to be like 900 years old. So like 40 years. You're telling me from the time he was 820 years old to the time he's 860, he lost the ability to flip around and crap. Like that's all that. I mean, you know, that's like common like complaint about the prequels is, you know, you have to have better technology for a new movie, but it doesn't make sense to go before the old movies.
I always thought the strength was in his mind too, not in his body, and it really pissed me off.
But Yoda in particular pisses me off. I don't really give a shit about, oh my god, the ships are better than X-Wings. Like,
yeah,
I don't give a fuck. I mean, the prequels suck anyways, but if they weren't good, that wouldn't bother me.
Right. So Yoda as a puppet is better than Yoda as a CG.
Yeah, that bothers me because Yoda as a puppet is a 10 out of 10, 5-star. Yoda as CG is Jar Jar Binks.
Say it's one notch above Jar Jar.
Okay, sure. Jar Jar's a 1 and he's like a 2.
No, Jar Jar's like a -1.
Sure. I don't know. Is there anything else?
Oh, merchandising for this movie.
There was better merchandise in the movie that I'd buy than. But yes, I know.
I thought it was a terrific way for them to advertise to children.
So because they had a kiosk to buy things from the park.
The kids are like seeing those things in the movie, and they like. I know that as a kid, like I would have just been like, I want that plate.
As an adult, I want that.
What
did I say? I said
I want that plate.
I said I want that plate when I saw the plate. But they had this shot of a like stuffed brontosaurus or T-Rex or something like. You can only see the head and the neck, and the camera pans and you see it, and it just was making the silliest face ever, and it was beautiful.
So that's I think that's one thing that they did really smart.
Well, yeah, it's the Star Wars effect.
Yeah, but they don't have Star Wars toys in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah,
this was like beyond genius for them to do this. Not beyond genius, but you know.
Yeah, I wonder if there's other examples of that. But yeah, it's like we sell toys at Jurassic Park. Clearly, yeah. They even had in the opening scene the hut of the paleontologist that John first visits with the annoying helicopter. Behind Grant and the woman was a like Tyrannosaurus toy looking model, which is just funny.
I went to the Museum of Science in Boston when this movie came out, and I saw like all the special effects stuff and like dinosaur bones. It was great.
You might call me an idiot for this comment because perhaps you already know it, but did you know space ice cream is not what astronauts eat?
I assume that.
Yeah, I know.
I assumed it was just like they just call it space ice cream to sell it.
Yeah. But I thought there was a time where there was something similar to that.
But maybe they ate it in like
I thought maybe I didn't think that ice cream could go to space, but I thought it was based off something like that, like close enough. But I didn't know it was like completely just to like commercialize it.
How about this Jurassic Park reboot in space?
Could be great, could be really bad.
Yeah.
You know what movie I should watch again? District 9. I really liked that movie when it came out. The little baby alien thing.
I love the baby alien. He's really good.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
I like that movie.
Just got me on thinking of like CG and all that kind of thing.
I mean, we're probably running at like 35 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, and I didn't record for like so I think that's a pretty good length. But that was like the first test of maybe a focused discussion. I think it came out okay.
Yeah. Mostly focused discussion.
Yeah, so we're thinking maybe we could chat about things that we were both into that were relevant to popular culture. Like, I know I just played BioShock Infinite. I enjoyed it. I was gonna let Neil borrow it. He's gonna play through it.
And then we'll
if we can get that done within a week or so, we'll
yeah, that would be cool.
Figure out this and other things if you want to see anything, I guess.
Yeah, recommend. We'd like to do stuff that's coming out or like.
Yeah, because there's not really too much. I mean, I guess we're doing Jurassic Park for the first one, which is funny. But
yeah, but it's Jurassic Park 3D.
Yeah, there is no point to, like, I guess. I mean, maybe there is. Maybe there is a point to going back and doing some things people want to. I mean, maybe people like it. I don't know.
If it's stuff that neither of us have experienced, I guess.
Yeah, I think
but
that's
we're looking
the thing.
for, like, graphic novels or movies or games.
But if it is something we both haven't experienced, I think we'll be, because we talk a lot about this stuff, just in between each other. Yeah. Just driving and whatever. So if it's some conversation we haven't had in depth, like, I don't think we've ever really gone in depth about Jurassic Park. So, yeah, recommend anything if you enjoyed it, I guess.
Yes.
Thank you.
And good night.